Hello, beautiful artisans. I hope you're having a beautiful Thursday. I'm getting on here kind of late because I've been working on a number of projects, but I promised you I would show you the Boro Sashiko inspired projects that I've been working on, and I'm going to show you how to make a coffee cup cozy, how I make them. So the first thing is I've been working on key fobs, and the more you work on a project, it kind of just evolves. Like, you either see something you think is going to work a little bit better, or you'd like to try a little bit differently. So these key fobs you're probably familiar with because I did make these not too long ago, but I've shared them, I think, a few times. So this type of key fob right here, Boro inspired, is the kind I have my keys on. So I made another Boro inspired with a little bit longer handle. So I made that to add to the repertoire, the menagerie. And then I started to do key fobs like this, and with the key ring like that. So with fabric on both sides. And so these are machine stitched. And I put a little charm on there. And I just really like those too. And this one I did a little map of Vermont. It's kind of the shape of Vermont, but it's in a cow design. So that's what I worked on. I worked on those, and I also did 2 more coin bags. So I really like these coin bags. Now, as I said, that you work on things a lot, you start to get an idea on how to do it better. So, I first started adding the keychains like this, kind of like so it would hang down a little bit and be relaxed. And so I finished this one up today. And then by the time I got to this one, I decided to make the key chain loop a little bit shorter. And I really, really like that. When there's the ring, so they could put their keys, but I like it just a little bit shorter. So now I could also try some that are longer that fit over the wrist. So I'll try those one day too. But this one is complete, and it is hand stitched and machine stitched, and you see more of a cantha inspired effect here. And it's really Boro inspired, but it is also a cantha inspired stitch. Contemporary people have coined it as the big stitch. It's cantha. That's a cantha stitch. So I worked on those, and then I laid out more material to make more key fobs. So, and I am working, but not within my reach right now. I showed you this before. It's a little mini wall hanging of Boro Sashiko inspired. This takes time, whether it's small or large or whatever. But I want to make a few more like this, a little bit smaller, maybe some independent stacking designs of Boro, and maybe be able to bring those along with me to the art event Saturday. And maybe I can make it a holiday kind of vibe. Now, with that said, so these are the coffee cup cozies. Now, when you crochet, you want to remember you always get a stretch. You get about a 1/2 inch to 1 inch. Now, so whatever cup you're using, some of these cups come like really tall. So I don't know what kind of cup you'd be making it for, but whatever kind it is, what you want to do is you want to measure the widest part at the top first. So this is a 10, that's 10 inches. And then at the bottom, okay, right about here, maybe where it's going to hug it, it is about a 9. Okay, so you've got 9 on the bottom, 10 on the top. Now, the coffee cozy, for the coffee cozy to hug it, okay, you want the coffee cozy when you're crocheting with a stretch to be the smaller number in diameter. So this one, when we measure this across, we're getting about a 4.5. It's 4.5, which is 9. So that's perfect, because when you see this go on the cup, you see it's hugging the cup. So the reason it's hugging the cup, even though it can stretch to 10, it's 10 up here, down here, it's in actuality 9. So that fits perfectly. And so with that, so basically what I'm saying is, if you're crocheting, you do not have to worry about decreasing, increasing, cutting, sewing, any of that. All you need to do is make your coffee cozy the diameter of the smaller number, because you know it's going to stretch about a 1/2 inch or an inch. So now with that said, I had counted this out to be 19 chains. I just want to see where we're at here. And it's not complete yet, but down here, the bottom part of this is where I want to make sure that that is going to connect, because I know it's going to stretch up here. So now with that said, what we're going to do, okay, and what is continue to crochet. The size hook I'm using is an L, and this is a thick yarn. So it's a heavyweight yarn. That's what this is. So with that, we are at the end of the row. So I'm just going to pull this out. So at the end of the row, each row, you're working in your back loop, okay? So when you're at the end, you're going to chain 1, you're going to turn, and then you're going to go into the see that first stitch right there? You're going to work right in that stitch. The back loop is the loop farthest away from you. Your front loop, which some patterns call for, are closest to you. This is not a pattern. It's just like you can work in your back loop, single crochet, half double crochet, or double crochet, and still have to use only one chain turn at the end of your row. If you start to get into treble or triple or any of that stuff, then you'll have to do some research and figure out how to turn at the end of a row. I am making a panel and then connecting. Now with this one, I simply connected. You can see I just simply connected. With this one, I added a couple of rows because it was a tad short. So if you come out a tad short, it's okay, because you can crochet horizontally that way. Now the other thing is, you want to make sure that it is about, like I said, 3 or 3.5 inches. This is 3.5. So that's what we're going to go for, about 3. And if it takes too long, what I'll do is stop, and I will simply show you how to connect the back, because I don't crochet it. And I did add some crochet rows to the back of this one because I was short. This one I did not. I just simply used a darning needle and I stitched them together. That's all I did. And I'll show you the darning needle that I use, or a type of darning needle, because the eye of the needle makes such a difference for you to work along swiftly, you might say easily, without struggling to get the yarn in an eye of a small needle, or something is just not working. Okay, so now when you get to the end here, sometimes you got to really look for your back loop. That's a tip, because I kept on a few rows, just in any project I do, sometimes I accidentally miss my back loop. So, okay, so I chained one and I'm turning and I'm going to work my back loop again. Now, with an L hook and a thick yarn, I did 19 chains. And that's based on a 9-inch length panel. Okay. You can test it. Do your chain, and then after you do a couple of rows, after you kind of put your chain around the bottom part of your cup, because you know it's going to stretch up here, but put it around the bottom part of your cup. After you do a couple of rows, do that again, because just like we did a few minutes ago, because you want to make sure it's not too short, but like I said, if it is, just add a couple of horizontal rows of crochet. So, okay, this is probably let's see what this is. This looks only about 1.5. And what I might do, it's about 2.5. So we'll do one more row across, because I'd like to get it so that I can show you how it fits onto the cup. So if I can get it close to 3 inches, I'm happy with that. And you might notice I'm using the phone today to record. And the reason I'm doing that is my laptop was glitching out. So it was looking for more storage, which is telling me that I need to clean it. And so instead of putting this video off another hour, I decided I'm just going to get my phone out, because I wanted to get this video out for you today. And so yeah, I love making the coffee cozies. I mean, and you know, when you hold these on a paper cup, like when you go, I started making these because I was going to this coffee shop, and my fingers were literally burning. I mean, right through the little cardboard wrap that they give you. I made myself a coffee cup cozy, and I loved it. I brought it with me. I used it, and it was just wonderful. So that's 2.5. I think we're going to stop there. I'm going to, yeah, see, this is a little short, so this is good. I want to show it. That's short. So what we're going to do is I'm going to add a couple of rows like I did here. And all you do to do that is you're going to chain one. Again, you're going to chain one. You're going to go down horizontally. So you're going into each space. Now there's a difference because you're going a completely different route here. So you're going in each space that you have. No chains in between those spaces. Just go into your space and there. And then chain one, turn. Work in your back loop if you want. You don't have to, but if you want to stay with your little design of your ridges, this works beautifully into the design. So this is if you're short. If you're not short, you would just whip stitch it together, and that's it. So this is probably, look Look how adorable that is. I mean, it just works. Now let's try it. We could still be short, and if we are, that's okay. Got to remember too that this stretches. Yeah, so I'm going to add one more. I'm going to go one more row down. And I'm glad that happened because this is a very real thing that can happen, and you don't want to rip the whole thing out. And after you did all that work, you want to be able to use your piece. So this is going to be the last row. Now we could have just crocheted it to the other side, but I'm going to show you, I want to show you the whip stitching. So that's how I'm going to do it. I want to be able to show that to you. So now you want to make sure you have a good tail. So, you know, so you have it to tuck in. Okay. And now what we're going to do is whatever side, it may not even matter to what side the, we can use, okay, look, you can use one of your tails for your stitching. Now this is a darning needle that has a nice large eye. See the eye? I'm trying to get so you can see that. Yeah, see how large it is? Very large. And that just saves you a lot of time. You can get a thick yarn through there. So I just want to show you, basically, you can go, now this is what some people do. They work in the loops consistently that are either in the center or farthest away from you, which would be 2 loops. I'm just going to go straight through. I'm going to keep it simple. I'm going straight through spaces that are there. That's how I'm doing it. I'm not going to worry about going through a front loop or back loop or any of that like that. I'm just going to go through here. I'm probably going to redo this, but I'm doing it for the demo for you. I think I'm going to redo it because I might need a longer thread, but maybe not. Okay. Yeah, I guess I don't. So look, that is connected. Now I'm just going to tie a knot. I want to tie my knot and I want to pull it through, tied it. And this yarn may not let me now. There. Okay. And I just want to hide it and twist it back and forth, going back and forth, and pull that through like that. And I'm going to do the same with the tail on the other side. And so if you leave your tail a little bit longer, just use that to do your stitching. And if you don't, if you forget and you cut it, that's okay. Okay, so here you see I have a little bit, I just want to show you that. You see that little space? So I just want to make sure I connect the top part. And I'm not worried about going through the top or the bottom. Now you can. There's definitely some schools of thought on that. But I'm kind of just stitching this there, and I'm going to weave this down, back and forth. I'm going back and forth. and I'm going to clip it. And then I'm going to turn it. Look how adorable that is. And now we can put a little bow on there if we want, which I don't have any bows around me. But we put our coffee cup on, and I love it. So this is how you do the coffee cup cozies. Now, if you have any questions on it, let me know. If you measure it perfectly, write down how many stitches you did, this and that, so you have your prototype, and just keep a prototype. And because basically that will help you instead of selling them. Keep one. So with that, I hope that you have a beautiful day. Let me know how your coffee cup cozy came out. And if you have any questions, if you're having a problem with the, you see how the ridges came out? Really cutesy there. And it stays with your ridging effect. That's what you want, the ridges. So, but yeah, if you have any questions, let me know. I'm happy to help, and we will see you in the next video.